He's face down on the ground with a gun to him by these cops. The other ones come over, grab me, throw me over their shoulder, drag me out, put me into an SUV. We go about a mile down the road to like a staging area they had set up. They go, what's going on here?
Yeah.
What's going on here?
Woody Show.
All right, welcome back, everybody.
Yeah.
It is The Woody Show. Phones open, 877-44-WOODY. If you'd like to be a part of things this morning, topic contest, whatever it might be, you can hit us up on the text if you got, questions or whatever. Send your text over to 22987.
I have questions or whatever.
Question or whatever from Gina. Yes. Let's go to Gina Grad.
Thank you. Long time, first time. Quick question. Well, a lot of questions for you, actually. I just finished a couple of those documentaries on those, outward bound, survival bad kids schools.
Yeah.
You know, the troubled teen industry.
I just saw, what was the one that was on Netflix? I forget the name
The
of it.
Paris Hilton one?
No, it's not the Paris Hilton one. It's another one because the girl who did the documentary, she was being sued by one of the people involved, and the case got thrown out.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
right.
What?
Something Inc.
No.
Yeah, Torture. It was a Torture Inc.
Is that it?
Or was it Hell Camp Teen Nightmare?
Yeah, there's a bunch of them. I
It
think
wasn't
there's
Hell
3.
Camp Teen Nightmare because I did a program just like that.
Or This Camp Sucks?
No, Torture.
Sorry for whatever I did. Get me out of here.
Let me look it up. Anyway, what's
Well,
your
that
question?
I've watched those, and I'm currently listening to a podcast called Something Was Wrong, and this season's all about these little camp crazy
really?
schools. Yeah, and every episode is so horrible, and I keep thinking, did Woody experience all of the stuff that these guys experienced? I have no idea, because I know that it sucked, and I know that you didn't want to be there, but there's some specific stuff that I have to ask you. Is that
so is your question, did I go to any of the specific schools that are in these documentaries?
Well, no, I mean, because I know there's a ton of them around, but which ones did you go to?
All right. So the first one I went to was Mount Bachelor Academy.
Mount Bachelor Academy.
And that was in Oregon, in Central Oregon, just outside of Prineville, Oregon, which is, a small town. But then you go 26 miles east of that into the Ochoco National Forest.
Ooh.
And that's where the school was.
Okay.
So I was there. And then from there, I got sent to, it was a desert survival. Okay, so if you watched Hell Camp.
Yep.
This next place, it was called SUS, Southern Utah Wilderness School. That is Hell Camp. I mean, it's the exact same. I watched that. I go, oh my God. It was like watching an old home movie.
Yeah.
Because I did all that. I saw all of that. The only difference was when I was at a place like that, snow was everywhere because it was the middle of the winter.
Yeah.
It was in the middle of the Great Basin Desert, Shoshone, Idaho, Southern Utah Wilderness School. All these places, by the way, are no longer in operation. So Mount Bachelor Academy got shut down by the state of Oregon.
Seems legit.
It got shut down by the state of Oregon. Southern Utah Wilderness School got shut down. I forget exactly what the circumstances were around that. And then from there, I went back to Mount Bachelor.
Oh my God.
And I was there for a while longer. And then from there, ended up going to a place in Alabama, outside of Huntsville, in the Paint Rock Valley.
Yeah.
Okay.
How many years total were you?
This is my high school. So when we talk about high school stuff, and then anyway,
your homecoming.
Anyway, so I never had. That's why I never had. We talk about my first prom was the Woody Show prom.
Right.
Didn't have prom. Didn't have the homecoming. Didn't get my driver's license until I was 18. I was out of these programs. All these things, all these normal things and that's why it's so important for me, for my kids. I want them to go to school in one place. I want them to live in the same house and have all their same friends and whatever in one place.
But
so even if I got fired from this job today,
you're staying.
I'm staying until my kids get through high school.
But weren't these camps expensive?
They're not camps.
Or what,
The
schools?
camp sounds fun.
What do you call it?
They're schools. They're boarding schools.
Because I don't feel like there's much learning there. That's why I don't call it
what's
school.
the actual school stuff?
Yeah.
Because there are.
Are you in a classroom?
Do you do homework?
Yeah, of course. Everything you have it's school. There are academics.
Because the ones I've been listening to, we did minimal academics.
Oh, it's pretty. Yeah. I mean, minimal. It's not what you think when you think of going to school.
No, studying for exams. Or
it's
whatever.
it's just very different. But you're living there.
Yeah.
Okay, and then you're there with all these other kids. And everybody's there for different reasons. Now, people think, boarding school, and they're picturing these preppy, we're playing polo
Lacrosse.
on horses and
absolutely
and stuff like that.
Cafeterias.
It's not like that at all. These
Caviar.
are all kids who have been having problems either at home, family issues, different things like that. I was a super class clown. Did I do stupid stuff, as Seabass loves to point? I did. I did a lot of dumb stuff. I was a young boy growing up in New Jersey and getting into stupid stuff. But yeah, I was not like.
Did you ever get arrested?
No, and I never touched a drop of alcohol. Never touched any drug whatsoever. And the first thing I ever did that was quote illegal as far as like drug. I smoked marijuana when I was 30 years old, living in San Francisco,
I remember.
where it was
Badass.
like a bigger crime to spit on the sidewalk. So like, like not anything crazy. But some of the kids that were there, I mean, there were girls there who had been like, prostituting themselves before they went there. Kids who had attempted suicide a number of times. There were kids who were major drug dealers or busted for Grand Theft Auto, busted for a number of things.
Yeah.
And they're just super hardcore, like emotional health problems.
But if you told people like, I don't belong here, they'd be like, yeah, you and everybody else.
Well, I mean, I was like, I don't understand where I fit in here.
Yeah.
I said that a number of times.
Okay, so question about that, because on some of these others, you have to write like confessional letters to your parents and like tell them all this bad stuff you did.
Oh,
did they ever encourage you to make stuff up or like, I don't think that's everything?
They do. At the Mount Bachelor Academy School, it's like all these things have programs. So, you do have school, Greg. So you go to like a math class and a science class, and you have things like that. But then also part of your quote curriculum as being a student at these schools, an inmate, as some people. When you talk about these documentaries, that's what these people talk about.
You can't leave. So
no, like the Mount Bachelor Academy, they call them life steps, and they're like these. What do they call them? Sessions or there's a word it's escaping me. But seminar. Thank you. And they'll go on sometimes for like 2 days, and there's no sleep. You don't sleep for 2 days, and you barely eat, and they kind of break you down emotionally, and they get you to confess to all these things that you have done that hurt your family or hurt your friends, and you write all this stuff down, and you're supposed to. I mean, it's crazy stuff. It's like I wish you have to experience it to really be able to be able to relay it to other. You would never. I don't think you could ever truly fully kind of comprehend. It was a wild time, man. It was.
What is the staff like? Are they young, old? Are they
mostly younger? Yeah. Mostly younger. There's always like a couple teachers. Like maybe older one, not like old, but like older. But like a lot of them are younger.
And they're just like tackling kids.
Yeah, right.
Mount Bachelor Academy did not do what they would call physical restraints. So Mount Bachelor Academy did not do that, but the SEWS program, the Southern Utah Wilderness School, did, and then Three Springs in Alabama certainly did.
Oh heck yeah, it's Bama, dude.
Oh,
Roll Tide, baby.
No, and I saw and I witnessed heard crazy things.
Did that ever happen to you?
No, because I wasn't dumb enough. I mean. At Southern Utah Wilderness School, I was just getting through the program. I told you I got frostbite in all 10 of my toes because you're out in the middle of the desert and like my socks got wet and there was no way to recover from that. And then feet ended up freezing. And so got taken to the hospital. They thawed my feet out. It was a whole thing. It's why I don't camp now because like these schools are all in the middle of nowhere. It's all, it's not glamping. It's roughing it.
If I were
Flint
you,
and steel fire, bow drill fires.
No. If I saw a leaf, I would go back inside.
Yeah. So this is why I don't camp. This is why I hate wilderness. The idea of hiking, F that. There's so many.
You've earned
watch these documentaries.
Yeah.
Like my wife can't even, because I watched them all.
You did. Okay.
Yeah, and it was weird. I had a really weird response to a couple of them because I was so happy when I got out of. The last one I was at was Three Springs in Alabama, and I went to go do my senior year of high school back home in Pittsburgh. Graduated from there, lived with my grandfather, and I was just so happy to be out of those programs.
Yeah, of course.
That I think I just kind of it was like an iron door, shut it, and then forgot about it for the longest time because I was just like, let's move forward, get me out of here. Mm-hmm. And within a couple of weeks, I had an internship at a radio station, B94 in Pittsburgh. And then from there, within a year, I was on the air at a radio station. And I've never looked back. And here I am, right? So
what was your response to seeing those?
It was like you got like this kind of, I don't know, this like it was just like a nauseous kind of queasy knot, kind of like, oh God, because like it just, you start remembering other things and just how miserable you were. And I mean, it's crazy. Even Mount Bachelor, even though they didn't do that physical restraint stuff, a lot of the staff was very nice. They were good people. There was a couple people now that I still consider I would consider them a friend.
You still talk to them?
Every once in a while. I kept in touch with this one guy who was like the main dude who would like be the contact with my parents, and he kind of fell off the grid here in the last handful of years. But like I truly love that guy.
That's so interesting because on a lot of these things in the podcast I'm listening to, like those are the most manipulative people because they would tell the parents they're going to try to manipulate you. Don't listen.
All that stuff, by the way, is completely true, and the program is set up that way, and different things. But like this one particular guy, I think is a really good dude.
Wow.
And I have so many stories. I've told a couple of the stories on the air, but I mean, just when you are in those programs and you watch these things, there's no way to really understand. But also watching these things, I can tell you this too. Some of these kids are super high drama, and that was maybe that's one of the reasons I'm so sensitive to people who are drama.
You're anti-drama.
Because these kids, oh my God, everything was a crisis. Everything was a whatever. So I lived the same stuff they lived, right? I went through the same things they witnessed, or I lived the same way that they had to live, did the same things they had to do. And I'm watching this, I'm going, oh God, you're kind of being a big baby about this. Like, did it suck? It sucked.
Mm-hmm.
It sucked. But you're being...
But you're also extra.
You're really playing this up. And maybe because it's for the documentary and things like that. There were some awful things that happened. And it didn't happen while I was there, but after I left and went to one of the other places, there was a kid at Mount Bachelor Academy who hung himself out in the woods.
Oh,
there were a couple suicide things. The desert survival thing. There was that one on Hell Camp. They talked about the kid who died.
Yep.
Yeah.
That stuff happens, man. I mean, you were out there in the wilderness, and it is a survival thing.
So, like, if you just decided you didn't want to walk anymore, would they drag you?
Yes.
So that's real.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then is the living situation like a cabin? Is it camp-like? Is it one-on-one? Is it you have your own room? What's that?
No, you don't have your own room. You're in a dorm. Mount Bachelor Academy, there were a series of dorms, and there were about 4 to 5 kids, boys, per dorm.
Oh.
You were just in there to sleep and shower. That was pretty much it. Three Springs was different. That was like a big kind of cabin up on this like kind of mountain. You had to hike up to it. No electricity, no plumbing. The only light was, I told you once before, there was like
just a light bulb.
It was a car battery, and there was a wire, and there was a light bulb literally dangling from the ceiling, and then somebody have to go and clamp the things onto the battery to get the light to come on. Yeah, and so it was it was like I said, not even like roughing it. It was just and
that's beyond
that place.
It's like being homeless.
Yeah.
I think that place and the Seuss place were probably, as far as like just egregious violations of
rights.
Decency.
Abuse, like abuse and things like that. I think those two places, and I have nothing good to say about any staff member at those other two places. And it's a very short list from Mount Bachelor Academy of people I think who are legitimately good people.
Yeah. Would you ever get in on like a class action suit?
No.
I mean, they're all closed.
No,
I'm moving on.
With all that said,
I've moved on.
mean, do you think some kids other than you, because you said that these kids did some pretty crazy stuff, do you think they got out and said, you know what, I never want to go back there ever again, and they did go on the right path?
Yeah, could it have been helpful in any way
Yeah.
if you squinted past the horrible stuff?
Yeah. You say it was so horrible.
I mean,
I never want to go back there again.
Scared straight.
I mean, it doesn't really work a lot with people that go to prison because they end up going back.
Here's what I got out of it. I mean, I got out of it confidence in myself that I can handle some
anything.
That's why I'm people always say to me like, dude, you are one speed. And so even in pressure situations or where there's like people are kind of I'm just kind of...
You have a low resting pulse.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good skill to have.
Yeah, and I think it's because of that stuff. It's like, all right, well, I can figure this out. And I think I've gotten a lot of confidence out of that in myself that I'll be okay and I can look out for myself.
Yeah, because you've already been through
right?
hell.
And because there's nobody else there.
Benefit,
You have none of your friends there. You
Right.
have none of your family there. In fact, when you go to Mount Bachelor, for example, like you can get there on December 26th, right?
Mm-hmm.
The rule is the next year when Christmas rolls around, you have to spend it on campus at the school. You can't go home. So your first holidays or whatever, even if you got there the day after, The next holiday, you are on campus. You don't go home.
Damn.
There is no contact with your friends back home. No writing them. No calling them. There is no television. There's no radio. There's no music. You can't have. At the time, there's no no radios, no Walkman, no any of that kind of stuff.
Do you still talk to any of the kids that you met?
Every once in a while, one of them will text into the show.
Oh my God.
Or hit us up on social media. And yeah, I mean, I go, oh yeah, I remember this one kid, Oliver. I guess works in film now. But anyway, and this other kid, Ari. Yeah, every once in a while, like somebody will hit us up. But all the letters, if you write a letter to, it had to be someone on a list that was approved by not only the people at the school, but approved by your parents that you could contact. So even like aunts or uncles, you can't just write a letter to Uncle Greg. It would have to be on the approved list. And then they read everything before it goes out. They read everything that comes in. If you're on a phone call with your parents, you got a once a week phone call with your parents for 10 minutes. 10-minute phone call. Yes, there was somebody there. And the minute you started saying anything that they would consider to be manipulative, anything that was against the program, against the school, or what, click, hung up, and then you lost your phone privileges for the whole next week.
Oh my God.
And so like, yep, talk to you in 2 weeks.
This is prison.
Yeah,
it's actually kind of worse.
It was weird. The campus now for where Mount Bachelor Academy is now, it was taken over by like some couple, and it's like a retreat. I think they use it for like church retreats and
Bad
things,
vibes there.
and things like that. No, it's in operation, and I've actually considered going up there because I would like to go back and see the place.
Wow.
Really?
And they're always they rent it out and let these people come there.
I'm gonna have my wedding there.
And I thought like, oh well, what if I make like some kind of donation, like would they just let me kind of like walk around, like I want to go and like because they use the dorms for people who are staying there and go see like the main buildings and some of the classroom buildings.
What
and
a
things.
show camp giveaway.
Just to see,
Rent it out.
just to see,
Just for
Is your
Halloween
kid
time.
a piece of ish?
just to see where things are. And I'm seeing questions on the text. Woody, how do you forgive your parents? Do they believe your experience? My mom won't talk about any of this stuff. I think I don't know. I don't know how she feels. Is it because she regrets sending me there, or is it because
she'd probably so much
Probably.
guilt?
it's like she doesn't want to argue with me? Because I'm not looking to argue, and I'm not yet. Honestly, I'm not even really looking to talk about it. Like I told you, I moved
You
on.
cut it off. Yeah.
And I believe at the time, because people go, well, what? I believe at the time that my mom and my stepdad, because they're the ones who made the decision. I believe truly in my heart that they were doing what they thought was the right thing.
Yeah.
I think they were.
They all are.
I think they were wrongly influenced by, and there's a couple of other people who were involved. There was like an educational consultant. There was this other and so they, of course, they get like almost like a finder's fee for sending kids to these places. So they have their own agenda.
Commission.
And so, yeah. And, I think they really had the best intention. I just think it was I think it was the wrong decision. I think it was a bad decision, even at the time. And now in hindsight, it certainly was, and it sucked. And those documentaries are real.
Wow.
They're totally real. Take it from somebody again. First hand experience. They are. Hell Camp is dead to real.
Wow.
Absolutely 100% real.
Insane.
It's crazy. It's crazy. And I learned different things. I've also learned not to trust people. I've learned to be cynical. That's where I get my cynicism. There's a lot of things that I am today that I don't think I was, or to the degree that I am today prior to.
Right.
Yeah.
Well,
prior to
and
that. But
did they tell you were going? Did they wake you up in the middle of the night like they do on so many of those?
oh God,
Do
we got to take a break.
Okay.
We got to take a break. I'm
So
getting-
so many more questions.
All right, so if you're interested, the names of the documentaries that we were talking about, and these are the schools, not specific schools, but the exact same types of schools that I
Right.
went to. Netflix has the one. It's called Cons, Cults, and Kidnapping. And Cons,
delightful.
Cults, and Kidnapping. I thought there was like the program.
Yeah.
Cons, Cults, and Kidnapping. There's that one. And then there's Hell Camp. That's also on Netflix. That's the one that is exactly, it's 100% exactly the same program.
And that one's a rough watch.
That's the one that I watched.
Yeah.
That's the one that has Paris Hilton in there. right?
Nope. That's she has a different documentary about where
Oh,
Yeah,
it's
the place-
called Hell Camp something.
Nope.
I think. Let me look.
Teen torture, maybe.
Hold on. Or teen. Hold on.
Anyway, yeah, look that up. Let's not sit here and Google it live. Hell Camp is the one about the Desert Survival Program, even though it's not the same one I went to. Everything that happened is exactly the same as the one I went to. And then the program, cons, cults, and kidnapping, that is very much like the one program, not about 70, they'll call it 75%.
Okay.
75%. What was your question? I'm sorry, we got to...
Okay, so a lot, it seems to be split between kids who were warned ahead of time they were going and brought there by their parents, or kids who were like surprised in the middle of the night with like randos kidnapping them.
Okay, yeah, now I know what you're talking about. Okay, so to get to the boarding school, I was not interested in going to a school in Oregon.
Okay.
Because I was living in New Jersey at the time.
That's far.
And I'm like, no, that's so far. Honestly, I didn't even know where Oregon was on the map. I was like, how far?
The school is failing you.
Holy crap. So anyway, I was lied to. I was told that, hey, look, we're just going to go out there. We're going to look at it. And if you don't like it, we're not going to make you stay there. Well, I got there. They're like, nope, you don't go home. You don't get to talk to your friends. The radio was a big thing for me, and music was a big thing for me. And they said, nope, you can't listen to music, can't have a radio, can't whatever.
Damn.
I'm like, no way. In the middle of the woods, I'm like, no way. And so we went back to the admission office where the parents are meeting with and I go, no, thank you. And they go, well, we've made a decision. We're enrolling you. And I flipped out. I threatened my parents, I believe. Told them I was going to go out of my way to waste their money and make this miserable and give them the headache of their life, which I ended up, that's where I started doing when I was like hitchhiking to Seattle, getting away from the school. I was doing all this stuff to really kind of stick it to them because I knew how much that school cost. I knew how much all this stuff. So I got tricked into going there.
Wow.
And
they like sign over their rights, right? Like we're not your parents temporarily.
No, you are. But I mean, yeah.
They can do whatever.
Different.
Okay.
Different. Anyway, so then the middle of the night thing happened to
please.
me because then I was going to the Hell Camp place, and I was convinced like, oh, come over, watch Monday Night Football at the house. We'll order some pizza. Everybody's just happy that you're safe because longer story. Anyway, so in the middle of the night, I'm asleep, and someone just starts pounding on my forehead like tap, 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 tap. Get up, a-hole.
Jeez.
Flashlight in my face. I'm like, doing the squinty eye kind of thing you see, like, people who are in the hole. And I get picked up, thrown on the ground, put in handcuffs, taken out of the house, thrown in the back of a Subaru, and driven from Central Oregon to Idaho to go to this Hell Camp place.
Right.
Now, these are two like off-duty Prineville Police Department officers or whatever who were then hired to do this transportation service.
They seem cool.
Because they figured that I was going to maybe try to run or whatever. So my parents hired them to do this whole thing. And that's where that stuff comes in. That stuff does happen. The kids who they think might not want to go to these programs, they come in the middle of the night.
Like kidnap you.
Dragged out of your bed, thrown in a car, and then taken to one of these schools. So, that part did happen to me. But I told you the craziest stories. I get turned over. They turn me over to this other guy's big, tall, giant Texan named Ivan Pixley. And
sweet name.
And he we drive, and we had a couple days to kill before the program started. And so we pull up to the hotel. He goes inside to check in. Later on that night, everybody's chilling, hanging out. Pound on the door. Open up. Now, he had a set of handcuffs that would go on this apparatus that he had set up on the door so that I couldn't sneak out in the middle of the night. So he goes, who? Boise police, open up right now. And then he goes, hold on, he couldn't even get the word handcuff. He goes, let me get the handcuff. And then the door comes off the hinges. Boom, in rush all these police officers. He's face down on the ground with a gun to him by these cops. The other ones come over, grab me, throw me over their shoulder, drag me out, put me into an SUV. We go about a mile down the road to like a staging area they had set up. They go, what's going on here?
Yeah.
What's going on here? And I said, no, he was hired by my parents to take me to this program. He's actually really cool. I said, where were you guys like 3 days ago when I had these other two pricks?
You're like defending this guy.
Yeah, because he was cool. So it turns out when we pulled up to the hotel to check in, or the motel, because it's one of those where the door goes to the outside. He had me one arm handcuffed to the inside of the door of the car so I wouldn't split. And somebody walked by and saw a kid handcuffed to the inside of a car, thought I was being kidnapped, called the police. Apparently, they had been watching us all afternoon.
Weird.
And they waited till nightfall to come and
surprise attack.
knock on the door.
Well, good for that concerned citizen.
See
right?
something, say something.
Yeah.
Damn.
So-
What's the name of the Paris Hilton one?
So I looked it up. Paris Hilton is in Hell Camp talking about her, her experience, but she also has another, more in-depth thing about it called This Is Paris that's available on YouTube.
Yeah, the other one's like Hell Camp Teen Nightmare.
Teen Nightmare.
Teen Nightmare.
Yeah.
That's okay. Teen Nightmare. Hell Camp is the desert survival one,
Right.
right?
Isn't it called Hell Camp Teen Nightmare? Isn't
It's
the same
That
one.
is it. She is in
Yes,
that as well.
exactly.
Yeah.
And that's I think she talks about the Provo school in Provo, Utah.
Yeah.
Yes, because that's where she went, which was owned by the same company that.
They probably owned them all.
All right. We got to take a break.
Crazy.
Yeah, we could talk for days. More Woody shows coming up. Hang on.